Having fun, brother. Living that life.
I hear you. Me
Let's
personally,
go ahead.
me
I'm sorry.
personally, I was yeah, me. I was trying to at least change the layout and everything like that
Hmm.
because it was like from another because I have like certain layouts that I have on here, but then the thing is though I was trying to change it, it was just not it was just not going right. So I was trying to change it on my laptop, so I was going on my phone.
Also, let your homeboy Randy know that we live right now because he wanted to know the next time we was live.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm gonna let them know.
Yeah, that dude, that funny ass boy right there.
Yeah,
So I know Randy cool, man.
yeah, that's my dude right there. I
Yeah,
mean,
he wanted the homies. He cool as shit.
exactly.
So what's been up, man? What's been up?
Well, as you know, I've been doing my thing, just working and everything like that. So
Yeah, it's all you can do, man. You got them big moves coming, man. You making strides living your life. I'm
exactly,
I'm making strides with my life. I mean, shit has been better. It's been 100 times better since I got the fuck from under Tyson.
got you.
That was just a stepping stone.
I hear that,
You probably got a lot of people from that bitch that think I'm down and out. No, I left Tyson and life just got better.
man. I don't care what people think because at the end of the day, if people ain't paying my bills, I don't care what they think.
I mean,
That's my
you
bema.
still gonna have people hating and shit and hoping for your downfall, but they can hope
But
for my downfall all they want to. I made it better than what they doing.
exactly, it's like after you left, I don't even talk to certain people because let's be honest, I just don't respect them.
Yeah, you got a couple assholes there that probably think I'm fucked up now. I'm in the hole. I don't got no good things happening. Shit, they working for Children's Hospital, buddy. Making the money I'm making way more money than I was making at Tyson. Man, stuff is coming together. I got a clothing line I want to work on. I got a anime convention I'm going to in July. I got
Oh
WrestleMania
yeah,
I'm going to in April because they're going to be in Philadelphia.
yep,
And I got a Street Fighter tournament I'm going to in next August. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff going on, man.
exactly.
And I'm trying to get
Oh
front row seats to WrestleMania, so
yeah. Well, you heard what happened today, right?
what will happen today.
Well, the late great Harry Belafonte, he passed away.
Yeah, oh shit, yeah, that boy. Yeah, he made a lot of good movies.
Exactly. And a lot of good music. So
Yeah, that was a cool ass boy. That was a cool old head.
exactly.
Well, everybody got a time and place, man. Everybody got time and place to go.
Yep.
I just hope that I get to accomplish some stuff before I go, some good stuff, and I'm trying to do that now.
Exactly.
I'm focused on building my Twitch channel because for some
Mm-hmm.
weird reason they won't let me stream on fucking YouTube on PlayStation. So I've been streaming on Twitch. I'm still trying to build my YouTube and everything. Like I said, I'm working on resurrecting some characters of mine I created, getting
Right.
some fresh artwork done because I'm trying to come out with a clothing line that
Right.
I'm gonna greatly advertise when I go to Evolution, which is the name of the fighting game tournament I'm going to next August.
All
Like
right.
a lot of those famous pro players and gamers, they got their own brands and stuff. They advertise and whatnot, merchandise and shit. I'm about to do the same thing.
Yeah. Go for it. And also make sure that whenever you get your LLC or incorporation, it's a good thing because they give you that EIN, and whenever that brand actually jumps off, you do what you got to do.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that more when I get to that point because I'm gonna need all that business advice.
Oh
But
yeah.
cause I got a lot of good ideas, a lot of good ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, I don't know if they go through all those channels. because a lot of the YouTubers, a lot of the streamers, they all, if you certain huge YouTubers, they all sell merchandise. Like
Right.
mugs and shit, shirts, T-shirts, hoodies, all that good stuff. I mean, shit,
Right.
why not?
Basically.
He doesn't know it yet, but one of my rivals, who I'm hoping to face when I go to Evolution next year, his name is Low Tier God.
Mm-hmm.
He's got his own brand and old merch and stuff. Like he calls his followers his covenant. Like he's some crooked ass fucking pastor or something. But I could dig it because like one of my aliases is Prime Sinister, also known as Father Sinister. I got that, I got that devious, priest type of thing going on too. Matter of fact, that's what I'm dressing as when I go to the anime convention in July.
Right.
Yeah, man, I'm going down there to have some fun, man. Meet some chicks. Yeah, holler at
Mm.
some cosplayers, get some numbers, get some
Yep.
souvenirs, man. It's called enjoying life.
Right.
You gotta enjoy life, man. Life is too fucking short to sit here and be depressed and sad. And I sort of kind of want to touch on that a little bit too, because I
Right.
mean, I mean, like we had that conversation yesterday about, am I allowed to talk about what you and wifey doing?
Now, we just gonna keep that, between you and I. So,
All right, but I'm gonna just say this: the venture, the life changing venture, the
right.
positive venture that you and the missus are taking, you
Yes.
know, and the things that you're doing with your streaming, and you're still working on the music thing, right?
Yeah.
See,
I
go ahead.
yeah, because just 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 it was like 2 weeks ago. I was in the Dominican Republic. I wasn't able to go and do what I really wanted to do, but hopefully, if I just see a chance, and
Uh huh.
I just save up a little bit of my own cash, I might try to
Hmm.
go to Dominican Republic to achieve what I've been wanting to do. Since I already got the connections, since I already made the connections in the Dominican Republic already. So at least that's a good thing.
Yeah, that is. It always is.
Yep.
But the point I was trying to make is, you're making positive strides in life. You're sitting there. You're not letting anything hold you back. You're not letting your past hold you back. You're not letting failed relationships hold you back. You're not letting family hold you back. You're not letting sadness, drama, pain, none of that stuff hold you back. You're one of the most humblest dudes I know. I didn't know that at first when I first met you starting at Tyson. I didn't know nobody like that, but you're one of the most humblest dudes I know. Like
Thank
seriously.
you.
Like I mean, you keep it real. You're just trying to live your life, do the right thing. That's
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you.
But the thing that bugs me, and it bugs me because I guess 'cause I got a caring heart and I care about people, is we have a lot of people out here that are either living delusions, living lies, lying to themselves, lying to others, and not living up to their full potential. They have a lot of wasted potential because they're stuck in a closed-minded box, focusing on the most pathetic, sad shit that a person could focus on. I know
I
a few
know.
people. I know a few people right now. Say that I work with one of them. Who's I'm gonna give an example, and this pertains to somebody I'm working with right now. You have a guy who is, for some weird reason, madly in love with I want to say, lack of better words, a low tier chick. Like she's not a dime piece. She's not, top notch. She's not a model. She's not somebody who all the guys trying to get with. He's in love with bottom barrel West Philadelphia. Like literally bottom barrel. Lives a hard life ass chick. Like madly in love with. He's wasting his life away doing all this stuff for broad, paying her bills, paying her credit card bill, buying this stuff and everything, trying to impress her. And she doesn't love this dude. She doesn't want this dude. So he'll sit there. He's been depressed and upset about this shit for years now. That apparently he's known her for years. And he has a lot of potential. He could do a lot of things with himself. You go out there and meet a lot of people and do things the right way to make his life better, to help make other people's life better, to be inspiration and stuff. But instead, he chooses to fall behind some lackluster chick who don't give a damn about him.
I mean,
And
if you actually look at it, right? The thing is though, is that there's going to be a point in time that a man is actually going to have a rude awakening. I mean, I could actually say that I might have not been in the same situation, but then after a while, you have to wake up and think, like, okay, do I want better for my life, or do I want to be stuck in the same rut? So if you really look at it, you have a whole bunch of people who are actually, you know, in that same rut, or you know, whatever it is, because certain people, they just going after this lackluster or anything like that, because sometimes they don't know better, or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they just think that that's what it is. and and me personally, talking about lackluster females, guess who's coming back?
Hey, you told me about that.
Yeah. No, actually, it was like she actually came back yesterday. So
Yeah,
yeah, so I guess they start next week.
yeah. Now everybody could go back to simping on a glorified stinky behind whore who likes to charge people for sex. Cause you know
Because
how it was before when she was there.
I mean, it's just the people who don't know better. I mean, like me personally, right? I'll tell you, as I was telling Randy, right? The reason why I went up and I detested what that certain female was doing is because she was following another chick, because out of me and everything like that, I'm just like, okay, I just do whatever I do and I go to work and I go home, right?
Yep.
But yeah, certain people, they think that, okay, you got money on the side or anything like that, just because of a thing that they seen you in the bank before or whatever. So therefore, they always have that in their mind. So therefore, they always try to do the worst things in order to try to get your money. When the fact is, they're not.
Well,
So I'm
dude,
like,
keep it real. Just we talk about somebody who was job, and that's just sad and pathetic. That's sad and pathetic when you have a decent looking woman.
mm,
That's a sad state of affairs. I
yep,
mean, but see, just like I'm saying, takes the wrong things on them. At the end
hmm
of the day, they're chasing realistic things. They're chasing the wrong people. They're chasing substance abuse. Chasing things that don't have. Like, is and a lot of things you don't have. You got parks, you got forests, you got beaches, you got mountains, you got sunset, you got all this beauty, you got buildings.
okay. Well, I guess there was a little bit of internet connectivity issue. So I'll just rock on until my homie comes back. So as I was saying, you know, rest in peace to Harry Belafonte. He was a big inspiration not only for African Americans but for Caribbeans as well. He achieved a lot and was actually in the forefront as being an activist for the Black Civil Rights Movement. So with that said, I have much respect for that man. All right,
Yeah, see, man, I must be speaking some truth because the devil tried to kick me out.
basically.
But no, what I was saying was, we had before we was really interrupted by the devil. No, get thee behind me, Satan.
Got you.
But anyway, but you have so much beauty on this planet that you could take in. There's so much things on this planet that humans can do to better themselves, to better your life, to be a better person, the better other people. We should not only be bettering ourselves, we should be helping to better other people, inspiring other people to look. You don't got to be depressed. You don't got to be sad. You don't got to sit there and chase material things to try to find happiness. You don't got to sit there and do a whole bunch of drugs or smoke a whole lot of weed or drink a whole lot of alcohol to find happiness when happiness is easily attained. It's all around you. It's all around
Yeah.
you in different forms. It's like you have arts, you have music, you got sights, you have hobbies. You got to
Hmm.
sit there and live your life. I mean, it makes no sense to sit there and be a grumpy gus or be mad at other people because what they got or be jealous of other people. I mean, I know a lot of people, like the dude I was talking about. Like you're sitting there upset because the chick you're in love with don't want you. Then you're jealous of other people who have kids, who have relationships, who have spouses, who have significant others. When everybody has their time for that. I mean, dude, I haven't seen any, for lack of better words, I haven't seen any real action since what, like 2018. And you see what
Got
year it
you.
is. You see what year it is.
Yep.
I mean, I'm being patient with my shit because the right one gonna come, the right one gonna come, and I'm not sitting there. I'm not settling for less, and I'm not chasing no.
Basically.
I'm not chasing no one night stands. I'm not chasing no, tell just to say, that I had some tell, whatever the case may be. I want to wait till that right one comes along so I too could experience what other people got, so I too can, be married and have fun. I mean, plus, I want to make sure that whoever I'm with, we have a lot in common, so we can talk, we can spend time together, we can have fun. Because if you're with somebody and don't have nothing in common with them, it's not going to last.
All right.
I mean, you know me, I'm one of the biggest nerds you know. So I mean, in order for me to be happy, I need to be with somebody who's into all the same stuff that I'm into.
Right.
You just got a lot of people out here that's chasing the wrong stuff instead of they got a lot of wasted potential. And they
Yeah.
sit there, whether they want to admit it or not, they sit there and they hate and they get jealous, they get upset with other people who are out here doing the right thing, living their life and not worrying about shit. Or
Right.
they're mad at other people because they're sitting there wishing, oh, I wish when I was that age I could have did A, B, and C. Oh, I wish I could have did this. I could have did that. This person doing this. I wish I could have did this, that, and the third instead of doing what I'm doing now. But see, that's your fault. That's your
Yeah.
fault.
Basically it.
A lot of people
Yeah.
don't see
Basically
that.
it is.
That's their fault because they chose to sit there and not live to their full potential. They chose to sit there and chase bull crap. And you know it because you got people at Tyson like that. We worked with people like that together.
Right.
And I mean, and you also there's people that I work with is like that, and there's people walking the streets every
Hmm.
day like that. They're living for
Yep.
all the wrong things, all the wrong
Yep.
things.
Yep. And it's like to the point that right now, when I've actually when I talk to certain individuals or see certain things, it's like to the point that I'm like, okay, I guess I'm when you get older, you get to the age that you see certain things that is not right, and you see certain stuff that be like, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna go down this path because either somebody that went down this path before, or you see that somebody's trying to put you in situations that you do not want to be in. So with that said, that's why I'm like, I just move wise.
I mean, yeah, that's another thing. You're supposed to be learning from the mistakes of the people that came before you. And the people that came before you, if they were responsible, they're supposed to be teaching the younger generations that what to do and what not to do and how you should conduct yourself in life. Like, I mean, your parents, for instance, like the people that raised you, I mean, they're human. People make a lot of mistakes. You're supposed to look at those mistakes and learn from them and make sure you don't do those same mistakes when you get older. I mean, that's how it's supposed to be. But a lot of people don't do that. They end up being worse than the people that came before them, or they end up making the same mistakes. And they sit there and blame everybody else but the person in the mirror. That's another thing. You have a lot of people who won't look in the mirror and see the root of their problems is the person in the mirror, not the people around you, not the people who won't give you what you want, not the people who won't kiss you behind, not the people who won't sit there and cater to your every whim. The root of your problems is the person in the mirror. Until people realize that, they're gonna keep going through the stuff they're going through. And I mean, it's just sad. Like I've been saying, it's sad. You got to go out here and you got to find your happiness and your calling and your meaning on your own. Can't nobody give it to you. It's not going to fall out the sky. It's not going to fall into your lap. It's not going to magically appear. There's no such thing as genies, at least I don't think. And even if there was such things as genies, they can't grant everything. They're not allowed to grant everything, for as far as the lore is concerned. But you got to just go out here and chase what you want. Like right now, like the money I was making at Tyson, I was not making the money that enabled me to do the stuff I'm trying to do now. But now working for a hospital and everything, making way more money than I'm making at Tyson, I could do the things I want to do and then some to make sure that I do some good things in life. Because like I said, I'm not going to sit there and be, even when I was making Tyson money, I was happy with what was going on in my life. I'm not trying to sit here and be like somebody else or chase what other people are doing or try to be like other people or hate on other people or all the other negative stuff. It's not worth it. It ain't worth
exactly. It, it's not. And I mean, me personally, I could actually say when I went to the Dominican Republic, it felt good. It felt good because, I was doing stuff so I could be accomplished, but it also felt like a sense of tranquility when you're with your family, family that you haven't seen so long. When you actually walk where your ancestors walked and so forth, and certain people that know who you are, they actually, it's like maybe when I was walking in my father's town, I was just walking, just looking around. I had like 5 people that just went up and they called me my father's name. So I just felt real humbled by that. And it was like, wow, I really do walk like my father. And, we were just talking and everything. I could say I actually held like several live chickens. So it was good, even though one of them tried to bite my fingers off. But I could actually say it was a great experience. Just being in the Dominican Republic again.
But see, I mean, that's the thing. You have a lot of people, like I was saying earlier, they don't look at life the way they're supposed to. They don't look around and see the great wonders in the smallest things around you. They're so close-minded by the places they live, the places they came from, the small group of people they know, the small circle of people they know. They're so close-minded, and they rather sit there and live stereotypes, or they rather sit there and live falsehoods and facades and made-up fantasies and stuff about who they think they are, instead of looking around, taking time to appreciate the small things in life. You gotta appreciate the small things, because there's so much out here that could inspire, that could mold, that could just help change a person in general. There's stuff out here that can help you become better. There's stuff out here that can help heal you. There's stuff out here that can help you see that that life is worth living.
Exactly.
It's worth living, but you got these hard-headed cats out here. A lot of them, sadly, not just in Philadelphia, all across the world, all across the United States of America and other places, that it's the most important things are being intoxicated, having a whole lot of meaningless money and don't know what to do with it, or sleeping with a whole lot of people that you shouldn't be sleeping with. And that's why we're dealing with stuff like now in Philly with all these STDs and stuff going around, all other crazy stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's why I've been wondering too, because since I only been in Philadelphia for 6 years, and I know that you're a lifelong resident. There's a lot of stuff that even though I've been here in Philadelphia for 6 years, there's still stuff that I don't know. So maybe you could educate me since you been in Philly for a long time, right? Like,
As far as what?
you know, certain things. Like, for example, when the Eagles won, like in 2018, right?
Yeah,
It was like I had to go tell a man while I was on the set the bus at my old job, right?
yeah. I was
And
working
this
at
guy,
7-Eleven then, so I was actually working the night they did win. So 7-Eleven
yeah,
was the streets downtown were crazy after that.
exactly. So I was on the bus and going to work because you know the Monday, right?
Hmm.
So this guy came up and was telling me, "Hey, don't why don't you see the Eagle song or whatever?" Or I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I'm not from here." I had to tell the guy like 3 times that I'm not from Philadelphia. So so in Philadelphia, is it customary or do they teach it in school, the Eagle song or something like that, or it's
Hell
just
no.
or
that,
just
that,
some
that,
stupid
that,
fans in Philly. I
it's
just had to
it's
ask
the
that.
latter, brother. It's the latter. It's just crazy Philadelphia fans, man. You don't got to know that. It's just you already know sports fans take a lot of things to the extreme, man. Me personally, I don't watch sports like that. If I did watch football like that, I damn sure wouldn't be cheering for no Eagles. I'm already declared a Saints fan. I'm a Saints fan for a reason because a fictional character that I like and a fighting game I've played. She's from New Orleans, and she's a diehard Saints fan. That's why I like the Saints. But that's just crazy sports fans, man. That's all that is. You don't got to be involved in that. And you see a lot of that too. When I was working at 7-Eleven, I see a lot of, especially when the tourists come to town in the summertime. They try to get involved in a lot of stereotypical Philadelphia stuff. Like every city has their stereotypes. Every culture
Got
has their
you.
stereotypes, and I try to stay away from stereotypes because, like, no matter what people think or say, like stereotypes are not positive. It's not a positive thing to be categorized in the stereotype.
It's
Like
really not.
it's not positive either way you see it because you got the stereotypes for different races. Like there's stereotypes for black people, especially when it comes to racism. There's stereotypes for people from your nationality. There's
Right.
stereotypes for white people, East Indians, Asian people, whatever. And
Exactly. And it's like,
it's not a good thing to be categorized in a stereotype. I try to be so different that you can't read who I am. I don't want people to be able to read who I am. I don't want to be a cog in a machine. I don't want to be a page in a bullshit book. I want to be
got you.
myself. I want to stand. Everybody should seek to stand out and be themselves. But you got a lot of that's another problem. You got a lot of people that don't want to be themselves. They want to be somebody else instead of being themselves because they're scared to
Rejected.
get rejected, talked about. They're scared to get criticized. They're scared to get made fun of, and all sorts of other stuff. But you got to be yourself. Everybody's an individual. Everybody was born an individual. You have to be yourself. You have to love yourself and strive to be the best version of you can be. Like
Exactly.
never fall into stereotypes. Like I don't, I stay away from stereotypes, and
I
it's
mean,
just
me
that
too.
a
It's
lot of
like,
people, a lot of people, especially these sports fans, like some of them believe that under the notion that everybody in their city, no matter what city, everybody in their city is automatically going to be a sports fan and a fan of that city's teams or a fan of that city's sports. That's not all true. I could give two shits about the Eagles or the Phillies or the Flyers or the Sixers or whatever. Like
yeah.
I barely watch sports. Like I said, I'm gonna watch football. I'm cheering for the Saints.
I mean,
Like
me personally, I used to be. I ain't gonna front. When I used to live like in down south, I was traditionally a Saints fan because you know the proximity. I lived in Mississippi, and the and New Orleans, where I was staying at, was like 2 hours away. So therefore, it was Saints. That's all you heard. But then when I went to New York, I automatically became a Giants fan. So Even though I don't really watch sports that much because I'm working, and I'm not going to go and dedicate time to watch the TV or a game or anything like that because I'm so busy. But I do know that, when it comes to sports or whatever, I was like, okay, the first people I might be rooting for will be either the Giants or the Jets. But that's it.
I mean, the only thing I got a TV for is to play the game because like I said, I stream on Twitch, so I mean, I haven't watched TV like that in years. I want to see something was going on. I'll look it up on YouTube or the internet or some other I lack a better words, internet platform. Either
Got you.
YouTube, the internet is Google or whatever. But I have TVs for solely just to play PlayStation on, and that's it. Because
Exactly.
I'm either writing something or I'm playing the game,
Hmm.
or I'm playing in something. Because like I said, I got the Anime Con in July. I got WrestleMania I'm going to with a coworker in April. They're going to be in Philly. It'll be WrestleMania 40. So
Oh,
like a lot of the big names going to be there. I know The Rock is going to show up. It's
I gotta
WrestleMania 40.
talking about that. I got to go and tell my homie from New York, who's like a big wrestling fan. So I have to go tell him like, yo, you got to come to my city, bro.
They're gonna be here in Philly next year. So WrestleMania 40 is gonna be in Philly. I know The Rock's gonna show up. That's why I'm trying to be front row. I'm trying to see
Hmm.
my man. I'm trying to see one of the biggest inspirations of my life up close and personal. I'm trying to see him up close and personal. I
Same
know
here.
he's got to be there. I mean, Stone Cold gonna be there. All the big names gonna show up.
Yep.
So I got to see him up close and personal.
Exactly.
I mean that's I mean if I see one wrestling show in my lifetime, it's got to be that. That's the biggest show of the year. It's in Philadelphia.
Hmm.
It's gonna be their 40th anniversary. So I mean I damn sure got to go for that. That's gonna be a huge one. And
Exactly.
then like I said in August of that same year, next year, God willing, I got Evolution, the fighting game tournament. So that's going to
Yep.
definitely help me with building my Twitch channel and my YouTube and getting my brand out there and working on my clothing line and stuff. So
All right. So I got a question to ask you, right?
what's up?
So when you building your own brand and everything like that, are you willing to invest in a passport?
I mean, eventually I'm going to get one anyway. I don't think I'll be leaving the country anytime soon, but I'm going to eventually get one anyway.
All right. Yeah, because I was just saying, because if your brand, expands and everything like that, you might have to go do some traveling. So, you know, I'm
Yeah.
just, yeah,
But that's why social media is also a helpful thing. You can reach people all around the world through social media.
yep,
Like you can reach people all around the world through that. And
ex-
when I start getting these designs together and go to get these hoodies and shirts and stuff made up, that's gonna be I'm just gonna be rocking my brand when I like go to cons and stuff, or I go to like tournaments and stuff like that, or when I'm making videos, I'm gonna
mm-hmm,
be rocking my brand. So my
yeah,
characters, my brand.
yeah,
Cause I mean I got ideas and ambitions, man. You gotta have ideas and ambitions. Like be yourself.
mm-hmm,
Don't be like nobody else. Gotta
yep,
be yourself, man.
mm-hmm,
Like I wish a lot of people would see that, but maybe through the stuff we do, we can help people realize that you got to be yourself, man. Don't be nobody else. Just be yourself.
exactly,
Don't go chasing after no waterfalls, man. TLC already done told y'all years ago. Stop chasing waterfalls.
exactly,
But sadly, we got way too many people out here doing that. And that's on them. When they fall hard and fall flat on their face, that's on them.
yep,
Excuse me. People done tried to warn them already. But I mean, hey, to each his own.
exactly. Another Philly thing
Excuse me.
that I'm just saying, like, okay, I know that between the Muslim community and Philly, they refer to each other as Sheikh, and I guess there's some other Arabic terms that I do not know. And I know that in your knowledge, right? I mean, from maybe the older people you may have spoken to or anything like that. When did Islam become, how should I say, for certain black people in Philadelphia? When did it became like the cornerstone faith that people just went to, or was it like in the 1950s or 60s, African Americans were actually turning to Islam? Do you know the history of that?
I'm gonna say this first and foremost. I'm barely a Christian. I was born Christian. I'm barely a Christian, so I know next to nothing about Islam. And number two, a lot of people in Philly, black people, claim Islam because remember the JBM, who was very very active in Philadelphia. A lot of their leading members and a lot of the prominent members of the JBM were Islamic. So it's just people. A lot of people do it to follow a trend. Sadly, you got a lot of people following the trend. Some people do it because that's their faith, but a lot of people do just following the trend.
All right.
That's the sad thing about it.
Yeah, it is sad when certain people are just following the trend. I mean, it's like I don't know, but and then my last question. I've always heard this from anybody who's a resident of Kensington.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, and they've been saying that Kensington been bad since forever.
No,
What's your take about that?
there was a point of time. There was a point of time where Kensington wasn't as dirty. It
All
was
right,
many years ago. It's in the 90s. Kensington wasn't that dirty. In the
all
early
right,
2000 in the early 2000s, Kensington before 2010, Kensington wasn't that dirty. That's only happened within I want to say maybe the last 7 8 years. Kensington started to go downhill like that. 'Cause I used to have a barber shop I used to go to up there. I want to say I don't know 6 years ago maybe,
all right.
and it wasn't that bad then. It was bad, but it wasn't that bad then. So
Okay.
no, it hasn't always been that bad, but it's spreading throughout the whole entire city. So
I mean, yes, because when I first came to live here, and this was like around late 2016, early 2017. Me and my wife, we used to actually go to Market Street, and Market Street. It was to me, I guess, when me not knowing anything, I actually thought that Market Street was like the Philadelphia 42nd Street, in my opinion.
well,
And
go
and then I went to South Street. I was like, okay, this is a nice area and such, even though I was working at my former job at the time.
That's the only original good thing about this city left.
Yeah,
They're trying to make Market Street like Manhattan.
yeah,
Like Philadelphia right now has so many stolen ideas from other cities and don't have an identity no more. South Street is like the only original thing about this city left.
all right.
And that's why I still mess with it to this day.
Me too.
That and a few other places, but there's so many still. Even the way the L is designed now, like they got ideas from trains in Chicago and New York for that.
Yeah,
Market Street looks like Times Square. They got ideas from Florida down here. They got ideas from Detroit that they've incorporated into Philly. Like it doesn't have its own identity no more.
wow, that's deep.
That's what they've done. They got ideas from Cali, Florida, from other states. Like don't got its own identity. And
Wow.
it's sad because like I was in Atlanta, Georgia for a little bit,
All right.
and certain parts of Georgia resemble Philly. Certain parts of Baltimore resemble Philly.
That's a thing that I've seen like certain architecture. I was like, okay, is this Philly or this is Baltimore? Because I don't know. It's like the way that certain houses are actually constructed. In Baltimore, I mean, from the videos that I've seen and when I was on the train, it kind of actually looked like Philly. I'm not gonna front.
You know what's funny? Harrisburg don't look like Philly. Pittsburgh don't look like Philly. It's totally different. I actually like how Harrisburg looks.
Yeah, I could actually say that Wilkes-Barre when I crossed through there, I was like, yo, it actually looks nice. I'm not gonna front. I might try to go out there maybe in 2 or 3 weeks. So, and my whole thing was I was like, okay, I want to actually explore all of Pennsylvania, but you know, I
I
still don't know
mean,
Pennsylvania yet.
it's gonna take a long time, brother. It's like because Pittsburgh alone is like 4 hours away.
Exactly.
It takes a long time getting out there.
Hmm.
Long time, but no, you're gonna see a lot of nice sights. You're gonna see some mountains and stuff. They got some mountains. They got some nice looking towns and whatnot when you're traveling through PA. But yeah,
Cool.
but I like Ohio too. Like Cleveland, Ohio is nice looking.
Yeah. My sister, she used to go to college up in Lima, Ohio,
Yeah, like what
and
was it? Cleveland and Cincinnati are nice looking. Like, yeah, I like them.
yeah, I would
But
actually like to see what Columbus, Ohio is like too,
oh yeah, they're
one of
nice
these
looking
days.
too. Yeah, they're
Uh,
nice looking too. It's funny because all the good places in Ohio start with a C.
hmm.
I think they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I'll be starting working like a half an hour. I do appreciate the time that you allow me on your platform,
Of course.
and
You're always welcome to.
yeah, we're definitely gonna do this again. And I hope you're around when I start posting videos on YouTube, and I'm gonna start working on my Twitch and all that other good stuff. Cause like I said, I gotta build myself up, man. I gotta. Life is too short, and there's too much fun stuff out here to do.
Exactly.
And all we can do is inspire people, man.
Yep.
But again, I do humbly thank you, Mario. Like I appreciate you, brother. You are a genuine friend.
Thank you.
And you make sure you have a good night. I'm gonna have a good rest of the night because I'm pulling 7 days a week nonstop until I go to that con in July. Because I'm trying to get my money together. Then after that, after I come back from that con, I'm gonna be working like 7 days a week, saving up money. Because remember, I got WrestleMania next year and I got a tournament to go to.
All right.
So I mean, but yeah, we'll do this again, brother. I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you too, John.
All right, take
All
care,
right.
yeah.
You too. All right. What's good, bro?
All right. Uh, yeah, I ended to everything because I was praying and stuff a few minutes ago, and I've been having some stomach issues. And also some legal issues. No, not against me. Against what's going on. So, um, So what's been going on? What's the subject today?
Now, well, I was talking to my former coworker earlier. We were just talking about, being positive and everything like that. So
Yes.
we were just talking about, what we went through as workers, and I was asking him things about Philadelphia because I'm not really a native out here. So,
Right.
we were just talking about certain stuff, and he was actually educating me on how certain people are just stupid fans of sports and everything like that. So
Right.
it was actually a great thing talking. As of today, I'm just gonna go and say this, rest in peace, Harry Belafonte.
Yes.
He was actually in the forefront of the civil rights movement,
Yes.
and he was a prominent Jamaican American musician, and
Mm-hmm.
actually and was one of the first to bring the Trinidadian genre of calypso to the United States. So therefore, it's a big shout out to him, and
Yes.
much respect to his legacy and his family. So I'm sending my prayers and condolences to the Belafonte family,
Mm-hmm.
and that gentleman will be surely missed.
Yes. Him and
Sidney Poitier.
I about to say his name. Both of them two from the Caribbean contribute to the civil rights movement. And
Exactly.
I ain't know Esther Rowe was Caribbean.
I mean, yeah, she was, because you got to understand that that certain people who are of who we would actually classify as African American nowadays, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to Florida or certain areas, like for example, they say that Fantasia Barrino has some Cuban ancestry.
Yes, she
I,
does.
so
You already know that.
so if you actually look at it, certain people may or may not know this, but
I don't.
and I'm gonna say something which a lot of people do not know. And rest in peace to a friend that I used to talk to in Detroit by the name of Tonita or whatever. She
Mm-hmm.
actually used to tell me that when she used to be in Detroit, she used to tell me that she knew the late great Jay Dilla, and his background was Cuban.
Mm-hmm.
So rest in peace to Jay Dilla, the producer, and he was actually an icon in hip hop.
And
So
also too, Marvin Gaye's teenage bride daughter, the one that died last December, her dad was
uh-huh.
cute. Yep.
All
Janice
right.
Janice Gray. Yep. And
All
she's
right.
yep. She's the same age as my mother. Cause we born in 1956. She's like Tina Marie.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
She was Cuban. It's a lot, and it's a lot. And City Tyson, her parents was immigrants too from Jamaica. Farrakhan and her cousins.
I mean, it's like if you really look at it, Farrakhan is actually part of my people, because you know how I say that I am Dominican and Kiddishin
What is Kiddishin?
from St. Kitts.
It is a
It,
lot.
yeah, it's an island. It's an island which is like maybe close to Puerto Rico, which the British used to own. Yeah,
Okay.
the former name, the British name was Saint Christopher and Nevis, but then I guess over time they actually shortened it to Saint Kitts and Nevis.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where my grandparents came from.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did see that on a different island. City Tyson um and Farrakhan was from. And they're also
Yeah,
Jamaican. St. Kitts. I see it, St. Kitts. Yep, I see it. That's in
yeah,
the flag.
because Farrakhan, even though he was born in New York,
Mm-hmm.
He is Jamaican and Kiddishin.
Right.
Colin Powell, if the late great Colin Powell, if I believe, I think he was fully Jamaican, but I'm just gonna
He
I'm just
was.
gonna check it. Yes, because they were saying that he was born either his mom or both of his parents were from Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just
They like
gonna
white people. I mean,
yeah,
cause they like white people. I saw. I mean, he don't. He look. You can tell you had black in, but the parents. I saw a picture. They like white people. We was trying to run for
right.
president. Yeah.
Yeah, so there was well, that Colin Luther Powell was born in April 5th, 1937 in Harlem, a neighborhood in New York City borough of Manhattan, to Jamaican immigrants Maud Ariel and Luther Theophilus Powell. His parents were both mixed African and Scottish ancestry.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, what a lot of people don't know, that a lot of I guess the West Indian population have a lot of Scottish blood.
Yes, I know that.
And I might have also, because my mother always told me that I had a great grandmother who was Scottish, and I had a great grandfather who might, I'm just quoting, who might have been a Portuguese Indian. Because
Okay.
at the time Portugal went up and they actually had certain sectors of India
Mm-hmm.
under Portuguese control, and then when the British took over,
I see that.
the whole mix up.
Right, and I saw that on the same key that they have Indians in Portuguese, and also Farrakhan daddy was supposed to be a Portuguese Jew.
Exactly.
You remember I said
So
Internet.com? Yeah.
yeah, I mean, my cousin, he went up, he did a DNA test.
Mm-hmm.
So what he did a DNA test in one of the DNA that he did. It's because I guess now they do whatever, because I haven't taken it because of certain stuff. But the DNA test that my cousin took, it says that we have that him. I don't know about me, but it says, and this is my paternal cousin.
Mm-hmm.
So it says that he had like 5% Jewish in him.
That's
And my surname, well, which I'm gonna say or say not, because you got
mm-hmm.
certain creeps that want to dox a person just because you know you and I, we actually talking civilly or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They just well, my surname, and I've actually did some research on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually that certain people who were in Spain were actually of the Sephardic faith had my last name.
Yeah.
And me and my wife, I was actually talking to her mother, and there might have been certain people who were Jewish that had my wife's maiden name. Well, my mother-in-law's maiden name. So it's just that I really
Mm-hmm.
want to take the DNA test, but then again, I don't know who to trust. And then what a lot of people don't understand about when you do take your DNA test with these DNA test companies
They
is
sell it.
that yeah, like for example, there was a guy that he didn't know who he was, right? So
Mm-hmm.
he went up and took the DNA test, and I guess he had a certain relative that actually you know, that believed is just like, okay, we're gonna have a whole bunch of children. So he went up and set it free or whatever. So he had a lot of cousins that he didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Through his DNA, he went and they did like the crime base in the United States. There was like the perpetrators that went up and they unalived a woman had to be a first or second cousin to this man.
Mm-hmm.
So when they went up and they actually looked at the family tree on who these perpetrators were,
Mm-hmm.
and they went and they found it in the date in the national database or whatever on who that person was, and then they got arrested for that unalivement. It was like, yo, they went up and they showed the guy in cuffs and everything. So my thing is that if I were to go and if a foreign citizen who never did nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he decides to go and do that DNA test or whatever. Would their relatives or somebody who they didn't know is related to them will be found just to be like, okay, the murderer has to be the guy from we're just gonna put a country for example for Colombia, the unaliver who is from he has to be this unaliver has to have roots in Colombia or something like that. Cause there's a person who is like his first cousin. So we gotta get him now and stuff. So me and my sister, we was actually talking about that. And that's why we was like,
Nope, don't do it.
nope,
I'm not doing it like
exactly.
Mariah Carey. Like Mariah Carey told John Lopez, no swab. I mean, she know. She was married to Tom Tola. She said, no, I'm not taking a swab. I know what I know, and I've been through a lot. And I said the same thing. We actually take DNA test. They know because I was told, and it was 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was on mixedrace.com, okay, with a different
Right.
name.
All
It was
right.
like Planet and Mahente, and they would advertise the DNA company of your name, American Roots. So I was like, oh. So they sent the kid to my house, but they said I had to pay $200 some. So of course I wasn't working at the time. I was looking for a job. Nobody want to hire me and working clean time. I was waiting to go to Job Corps, right?
Right.
And so and I know my grandfather and grandma would not say no. So I said, well, if you take the DNA test, what if you do have neighbor, but if you don't? And the woman immediately told me this. She said, well, if you take the DNA test by Native American rules, it does not mean you, if you say you don't have it, does not mean you don't have it. Something like that. I'm like, huh? Like, why are you asking? So if you take the DNA, take $200 some dollars at some expensive time, why, if you have Native American rules and say don't, what do you mean? Now, like, and I was 23 years old, I'm 43 now. Like, why would you even say that? So I'm gonna spend $200 and you're gonna tell me that my neighborhood rules not there. So I kept it. Like, I think, when I got my stuff pawned from the storage, because I had a bunch of clutter in my house, in my other room when I was in my grandparents' house. But yeah, I had the kid and everything. I was gonna pay $200. Someone told me don't do it. And then we in Houston, we had a crime lab. Well, this brother was guilty of violating somebody. They
Right.
found out the DNA was distorted in the crime lab. It was Harris County HPD, and I'm like, what? So even though it's not DNA testing on ancestry, I said something ain't right. I'm not doing this. Then remember Wayne Joseph. There was a brother named Wayne Joseph.
All right.
He was Creole. He found out he wasn't African American. I said, come on now.
All right.
Mom,
So okay.
he
Now
was on TV.
now all right. So therefore, all right. I know that certain people so how okay, he found out that he was African American as in what his parents was because
No,
African Americans are title. That's all I'm just saying.
he had no African ancestry. He wore an afro, a curly afro. He was light complected. You can tell by his mama. They say he had Native American, Asian, white, but no African American. And so they had put him on TV, and it was like, how you not African American? How you zero substance? I said something wrong with that DNA test. And my stalker from 20 years ago, the one who's a
Right.
Hispanic, that's radical, knows about, okay, and like a white man, okay, we used to argue on mixedfolks.com about this, and I used to ignore him because he kept on stuff. He was a lawyer, right? And he was so big in DNA. I said, no, I'm not taking it because you can tell the brother is African American. Like he lighter than me. Of course, he has loose so-called good hair, but he wore an afro. He identified as black. He was Creole. His mama had y'all with black features. His daughter, she married to a Mexican man, and she was shot to her own dog on down in California. His barber, they got this about, not like that, but camera like you and I will cut his hair. Said, how you not? No, he was his Mexican friend would cut his hair, but his African American friend, but I can say, how you not black? Like all this time. Now he said, I guess I'll just check Native American. I'm like, nah, bro. The DNA test was wrong. Somebody at lab did something to your DNA test. There's nowhere in the world you live as an African American, got the black features, the loose curly hair. Okay, he not pure black, but you don't got no African. Come on. So I know I said somebody lying in that. If you was with science, you got people using science. You got people actually mixing stuff in lab.
Look, this is it.
So when I saw it, I said, I'm not taking any DNA tests. And then when they said that Tina Turner was not Native American, I said, well, she was 1%. I said, well, I argue this. If she was 1%, it didn't say 0%. So she wasn't lying. They must have did something. And that what's that dude name? Henry Gage Jr. That I gotta argue this. People say I'm not mixed, right? People say I'm not mixed.
All right. One thing that I gotta say is this, and
Okay.
I wanted to do this because Henry Louis Gates Jr. This one thing I'm gonna tell you about Henry Louis Gates Jr. Right?
He a fraud.
Yeah, that too. But it's like, okay, if you actually look, when Henry Louis Gates went to the Dominican Republic, right? And he actually was talking to a person who I guess was living in New York and now went back to the Dominican Republic, and he was talking about the black experience. Now this guy, Henry Louis Gates, as a learned man or whatsoever, he just only went to the capital, and then he went to Haiti, and then he went up and made his synopsis about black ancestry in the Dominican Republic. I'm like, me and another friend that was on that's been on this panel before by the name of Jesse Thomas, and me and him, we were just talking about. I'm like, yo, this is crap, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, like, come on, I'll tell you why it was crap. Because first of all, this guy only went to the capital. Okay, in the capital, it got a significant population, of everybody. You have Dominican Chinese, Dominican Arab, what we call Afro Dominicans, people who are mixed and everything like that. But this guy did not. But this guy did not bother to go to the southern region of the Dominican Republic, right?
Sure.
He did not. He did not bother to go to Puerto Plata, right?
Sure
San Pedro de Macorís, and all the other towns in the Dominican Republic. So he went up and he based his assessment just on one day that he was just walking in the capital of the Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo. So therefore, after that, and he actually made his American assessment, I stopped watching him, and I actually stopped taking that man serious when it comes to anything geological. So, with that said, it's to the point that there, like a lot of these pseudo scholars and everything, I listen to what they say, but if you haven't stepped foot in my land or in the land of my parents, who are you to or experts spreading lies to the Dominican populace? And I'm not only saying Henry Louis Gates. I'm talking about all these other TikTokers too. Because remember when we was talking to this African guy up in TikTok, right? When regarding the holiday Kwanzaa.
Yo.
Exactly. Now.
Yo. Hold on. Sorry. You know what I said, right?
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
got you.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So I was saying that with that said,
Mm-hmm.
there was there was a person that claimed that he was straight from
Africa.
uh Africa, and he said that he celebrated Kwanzaa. I'm like, hold up. Now, now I'm gonna give you a well, I'm not gonna say it's an educational thing, but I'm just saying that it's from what I experienced. The Africans that I knew in New York, they never celebrated Kwanzaa.
It's made up.
N- Not not alone any other person that actually is of African descent, they never heard of Kwanzaa. So therefore, so therefore when I was living down south and everybody's doing these celebrations with the dashiki and everything like that, and,
Yes.
and I'm just saying, in my youth when I was living down south,
Mm-hmm.
and they're doing all this dashiki and everything like that. But then after a while, when you actually read the history of certain things
Mm-hmm.
and whatever the case may be, it was just that I'm like, hold up, something is not adding up. If yeah, if you have Africans who are from Senegal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Mali, and everything. And you mean to tell me that they never heard of Kwanzaa? So I went up and I did some research on my own. I'm like, hold up. Karenga was not even his real name, first of all. And I guess he's still alive.
He is. He's still alive.
So
He's
my
a
thing
Mexican woman.
so my thing is that Kwanzaa before the 1960s ever happened, nobody ever
1966.
celebrated exactly. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
ever
Very good
celebrated
job.
Kwanzaa.
Right.
So why everybody is now trying to latch on to a holiday that really have no purpose but just to burn candles? That's my argument. So
Uh, paid,
because I feel like I've been lied to now.
he was paid by the CIA, bro. Remember the United Slaves? His code was called United Slaves. Remember that?
Wow,
Go to
wow,
QSAT, the sister she from Texas. She talked about that. Remember? And he was an informant to get after the Black Panthers. And him
right,
and that Mexican woman who is pretending to be a light-skinned African American woman. Don't get me wrong. Yes, she is part Afro Mexican in Spain,
right,
and at least she not lying that she not pure mestiza. She Afro mestiza, but she faking that she a high yellow sister from here. She a high sister from Mexico. Okay, she helped beat them sisters in that case. Remember that? TSAT talked about that, and so did Judge Joe Brown and others. He's still alive teaching at that old doggone school with old fake stuff. I can't stand Coringa. And he was a color is. You had to be light bright. I don't know if it's camera skin folks fit in, but you a dog, you didn't fit in. And I think they said the sister was dark skin, but people have changed the terminology of dark skin. Dark to me, you already know from South, it's dark brown. So when they say dark, they try to call us dark. You know, I understand amongst Hispanics, we dark, but we come African American saying, no, there's one drop where we not dark. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know but no, he beat them sisters and that Latina lady, his wife, with her fake name, with her
right,
afro wig on her head, or that's a hair wig on her hair. That's her own pelo chino means curly hair. Pelo chino means curly hair, Mexican Spanish, whatever it is. Okay, from her Afro Mexican roots, whatever it was. Yeah. There was a made up holiday. Like I say, people don't see 666 in that. December 26, 1966. 666. It was symbolic.
wow,
This is how yeah. Even though Jesus was not born on the 25th, we celebrate his birth on 25th. Okay, and it was to my I do believe because that man was a cult leader and he was evil and he abused those women in that cult along that Mexican woman he married to with a big old afro on her head. Well, that's a wig, and I don't know. You got messing with curly hair, okay?
All
But
right.
them two, they teaching scholars and stuff, and she saying that the women's studies, and she was part of that case. And they, of course, they let him like 2 years, two or some years in prison because he was an FBI. He the one who had the Judge Joe Brown's friend from Black Panthers killed. Remember, he was
Right.
informant. And I don't know, and this is a Black Power movement. Of course, he had the Klan paying Nation Islam and certain other videos tell us what's staying in our place and going against Martin King's dream. However, United slaves, who would join I'm not lying. This is civil rights movement. Who would join a cult that say United slaves? I can see people to the N word day because they have plantation, cotton picking, but I no. Back in the day, it was smart. Brothers and sisters was, they could have had some folks uneducated, but they were smart back in the days. They was not smart, you know what I'm saying? They, of course, had some education in there, but because people were limited education, but they had sense then. Now some Pookie Ray might join United Slaves and call them to the N word, but no, not 19. So he was a foreman, and he was a colorist, and I try to celebrate Kwanzaa, and I used to cringe when I hear Happy Kwanzaa, and I was trying to do that multicultural thing, learn all my mixed heritage and all that other stuff, you know what I'm saying, and the African culture too. But I said, why I'm feeling weird celebrating Kwanzaa? And then next thing we find out, this man made his holiday up and shot before T mentions that Charles Michael Byrd from the multiracial movement from the Interracial Voice, he educated me on that, and I told him on my Facebook group and my undercover mixed race group, I said, thank you, Mr. Byrd. He said, you're welcome. Well, I showed him that video from TCT because he told back in 2003 that Kwanzaa was a made-up holiday and stuff. And I was like, well, I hope you're not trying to be anti-black. You know what I'm saying? Because he did.
I mean,
Yeah.
all right. So, okay, me as a Afro Latino, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, all right, I want to ask you. There's certain stuff that I do not understand,
Mm-hmm.
but there's certain stuff that I do understand. Now, this is my assessment, and maybe I'm right or maybe I'm wrong, and maybe you could correct me.
Mm-hmm.
But the problems that we have within our different communities, whether it will be Latino, but I'm saying pertaining the African American communities,
Mm-hmm.
is that we have too many ideological differences to the point that certain people they just don't know how to get along. Like for example, you might have a person who is, Nation of Islam. Then you have a person who might identify as a Moorish, as a Moor.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have somebody who, I guess, from the splinter of Islam, may you want to call of the Nation of Islam, may call themselves a Nubian or a 5%er. Then you have the Hebrew Israelites.
Uh-oh.
Then you have and then you have, I guess now they call themselves RBG. So therefore, in your
Can I ask you a question?
assessment, right? Yeah,
Can I ask you a question? What's an RBG?
red, black, green. So if you actually
Okay.
look at that, if you actually look at their presidents, that's what certain people go to. But I'm just saying, like the principle of these ideologies and everything like that, which is all over the United States. Why do you think that all these ideologies? I mean, I know maybe somewhat of the history,
Mm-hmm.
but why some of these ideologicals still permeate today, and they're not, and it's not really a progression, in your opinion?
I can take Nation Islam and I want to upset Hebrew line, but the what's it called? The Hebrew Israelite, they paid by the Klan. And then I don't know about the Moorish cult. I have met people when I was homeless at FedEx. A woman who's a witch, a sister. She thought she's a Moor. We used to debate about that at FedEx. She's from California, older lady, older sister. Okay. She was already named American. She said already named. He one of them people already named American people and we were more. I'm like, come on, baby, stop. We meet for the American people ain't sense. Anyway, but the reason why, because like I say, our identity been stripped. That's why I identify as multiracial. We are African, European, and Native people. We were told it's only listed as black because of slavery and oppression, even though we're not pure black. So we had the different ideologies and identities because that one drop rule. If we trace our ancestry like I did, and I'm continuing to get some more info when I get some more money to start doing some more because some other puzzles in my family tree, that's how you know who you are. But the ideologies like the Nation Islam and the 5%ers, which is an offshoot of the Nation Islam, where they think they are God. Okay, yeah. I see why Erica Badu, she's one of them. She's practicing witchcraft. Okay, yeah. I love to meet some Erica, but I call it like it is. Yeah, because those, like I said, I know about the Nation Islam being paid by the clan to hush us up and tell us what our place is. And if we cross the line, we hate ourselves, slander. We don't hate ourselves. We're supposed to have freedom, but that's what they're paid for. In Hebrew Israelite, same thing, and Martin King's mom was killed by a Hebrew Israelite back in 74. Okay. So that's how I know. But yeah, the reason why we had the different ideology is because we were forced to lie and say we're pure black when we mixed. We were told to keep that a hush hush because we'll be exploited for our black blood. And then we start coming with different ideologies. And like I say, the Klan paid them other, I don't know about the Moorish and the other thing yet. I haven't did my, and the Nubian, whatever it's called, that's a cult. That man was in jail for sex offense. Sorry, for violation, excuse me, for SA.
Yes.
Georgia. Yeah.
I mean, this is my thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, as you know, we have in my community, we have the Hispanotaps, and I guess they're not gaining a foothold in YouTube anymore. So therefore, they're trying to, they're not gaining a foothold on YouTube anymore, meaning that they're going down because nobody's really rooting. But they actually trying to gain a foothold, as in TikTok, as they say that they're defending whatsoever. When the fact is, a guy that that's been on here, shout out to my homie Lucas Acosta.
Yeah, it's my friend too.
He actually went up and put me on to a certain well, let's just put it like this. We ain't gonna go around and promote this idiot's name or anything like that. We're just gonna call him the guy that looks like the Latino Jeffrey Dahmer. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh,
so yeah. So yeah. So the Latino Jeffrey Dahmer, right? He actually
the Mark Anthony on crack. That's how I used to call him.
Right.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, brother.
Yeah. Well, the Latino Jeffrey Dahmer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is now going against a fellow truth, a fellow educated Dominicana by the name of Mayan Rivera. And now it's spreading lies and everything like that to try to say that she is the problem. When the fact is that she's actually spreading education and defending the Dominican people in a nice and eloquent way.
The evangelist, Tama, he going against her?
Well, not her. I'm talking about another person.
Okay.
The evangelist, she's doing what she got to do, and she actually called him out. But the other person, whenever they have these pseudo talks on their hopes and dreams for the Dominican Republic, when you know that some of the people, I hate to say, they're not doing anything. They might
They
be
not.
defending. They might be defending Dominicans on TikTok and other platforms. But then the thing is though, you have certain people who actually want to try to spread inaccurate news with us. It's just to the point that I'm like, okay, this is it. So my thing is this. Since since these Hispano taps are actually gaining traction on other social media platforms, what can we do as a collective to actually? I mean, let's be honest. They're making fools of themselves. For
They're
real,
not
for
gonna stay on
real.
TikTok for a long time. They're not gonna stay on TikTok. They're not gonna stay on TikTok. We already know. I know one of them that's on there TikTok. I know one of them. I thought he was Mexican, but he's Dominican, Puerto Rican. You know,
Right.
it's not the one from another one from Philadelphia. It's the one the young one. He used to harass me on when I was going against Bluish out of them. He made a video. You probably don't talk about the light skinned, bright skinned woman, Dallas, Texas, bashing Hispanics.
Right.
Okay, that's his channel. Like it's other folks TikTok, but it's not. I said how he heck gonna make fun. Don't get me wrong, Hannah, that's her name. Norris was wrong,
Right.
but she did have. Okay, I'm not trying to be against Hispanics. She did have a point as an African American and Hispanic from the United States. Okay, not Spanish Creole. Okay. And dealing with a economic situation here in Texas, trying to get the heck out of Texas, don't want to work for nobody that's rude and evil. This is a culture down here, and I ain't lazy trying to work for myself. The welfare claim gets on my nerves when I used to work for Texas Health Human Service and see a lot of Latinos on welfare. Okay, that's one thing that I did not agree how her approach, and she was wrong to generalize every Latino because there are successful Latino people who went to school. I know people who are Latino who went to school, got the degrees and stuff, but when he criticized her, he's talking about himself. When I'm saying that is because the same thing she spread that narrative on by Latinos, he was with the Hispanic taps doing the same thing by African people. He was on Kim. Oh, sorry. He was on the Mark Anthony on Crack's channel. He was on the Nicaraguan from California. He was on the Dominican dude that made a big viral video. He's on friend with the guy from the Tragic Mulatto from East Cleveland. He was in taking the Cynthia G points to the Tack brothers. And now you want to, you're talking about him wants to, he not Mexican, but he want to put her on the platform and bash her, but he act just like her. I find it hypocritical that they are making fun of. I'm not defending Yellowbone crazy. Yellowbone, no offense to everybody, Yellowbone people, Hannah Norris, but that is no different than Nuri Martinez. You know what I'm saying? Have these folks sound like Nuri Martinez. Have it sound like George Zimmerman. And now they want to bash her because she said that, but she had some points though. Because while they over here bash accuracy in people, they are working low paying jobs. Most Hispanic people with degrees who have sense are not going to go on social media. There are those here in Texas that do that, but I know those who don't. Not going to waste time on social media bashing accuracy in people. They're worrying about their wealth, their health, their kids, their livelihood. They might come on YouTube and educate people. It's the ones who did not finish high school. It's the ones who just barely went to college. They went to community college. The one from California who's Nicaraguan. That's why. If you notice the educational bracket of the folks, like the one who's the other stalker who's Puerto Rican, Puerto Dominican, to be on the Jeffrey Dahmer, Latino Jeffrey Dahmer thing, the one that be on Fighter Complex channel, he didn't finish school in sixth grade, but he almost 50. It's that bracket that wants to talk mess about accuracy people and accuracy people who got sense, not the ones who practice what Latino better be, and we not doing anything. Okay. No, we like, hold up, before you start talking about us, what's going on with you? You know what I'm saying? That's what you're saying. So I hate the fact she went there as in bashing all Latinos, but when Latinos make anti-Black American talk about welfare, we gonna call that out too. Okay, that they on welfare and hide it. I worked when I was on welfare. You had to report your hours. You can't just, I didn't sit on the system. I got on welfare in 2012. I did work. I report, they deduct your how much you get, okay? Because you get a good payment, you have to report your hours or else it'll be welfare fraud. And I know when I was working for Texas Health Cemetery when Michael Jackson died on Telephone Road, I saw Latinos have to prove that those who document, those who not document, those who do have papers to be here. I saw they had to report their hours. And I said, I wasn't on welfare now, I said my grandma then. But when I got on my own, I had to be on welfare. So for economic reasons. But I did work and I did report during Obama. I missed it, but even my mom was to do all the good but at the time. But I worked and I had to report my hours and they deduct it. Okay. So people can work when you're on the system. They just cannot be on the system, get all the money and not report it. So when they go on social media, oh, you on welfare, at least I have a job, but your job is not paying the Becky and Brad positions. That's why I have a point. So I'm not agreeing her extensive point because it was ignorant. There's plenty of successful Latino people, but when you have racist ones, especially in Texas, and they always on the comments with white racist people, the same white racist people, they want them over the wall, okay? Teaming up with them, talk about African same people. So a brother do something. Here, oh, F Black Lives Matter. Oh, they didn't do nothing. And I'm like, wait a minute. But yeah, the Latinos shut the whole school down in the valley. Can you talk about that? You know what I'm saying? You got Latino gang members terrorizing folks down in California. I went to school with that Charlo dudes, and let's talk about that. You know what I'm saying? So that's where she messed up. But I cannot sit here and get mad at her and the folks I see on TikTok, folks I see on Facebook, so I see on YouTube talking like her about African same people. Because it's a hypocrite and a hypocrite. That yeah.
I mean, if you actually look at it, right?
Mhm.
And to me, I guess it's been a problem within the Hispanic collective for like, I'll say like 500 years, ever since the Spaniards ever came to America. I guess we still call it the colonial mindset or whatever the case may be. It's to the point that now, if a person say who it is or say who they are and stuff, and I was actually talking to another Dominican brother about that on this channel too. Shout out to the Santana brothers. So with that said, it's just to the point that I'm like, okay, this is my thing. They want to spew all this hate against
Hello?
yeah, I had to mute myself because there was loud music.
Okay.
As I was saying. As I was saying, because I had to talk to my wife about something.
Okay.
It was like, okay, my thing is this. They saying all this stuff and everything like that, but I also see something else. I see that they wasn't raised with African Americans. They wasn't raised with other people. And for them to have, and a lot of these people who actually want to say their views and stuff, they will never say to the African American's face.
That's true.
You know why? You know why? Because they're scared.
That's very true.
I'll tell you something which is real. The Latino Jeffrey Dahmer, right? When I was at the Dominican parade in New York City last year, August, right? You had like a sea of people wearing the Dominican flag. Most of them darker than me. Look at the Latino Jeffrey Dahmer and looking at people scared. He looked like the only outsider right there, looking like a scared security guard when he seen a whole bunch of people in 36th and 37th Street up in Manhattan, 6th Avenue. When you see a whole bunch of people just enjoying themselves, saying what up and everything like that, he was the only person that nobody was talking to. I was chilling right there. I was hoping for him to recognize me. He was scared. He was scared of the environment. And then on top of it, he wants to say that people in Washington Heights know him. Nobody knows you. It's a known fact. You can't even Dude couldn't even tell me the best restaurant out there if he even tried. That's how much of a cornball he is.
Okay, so Latino Jeffrey Dahmer is that person, not the one who's Peruvian Mexican.
Well, we're two of them, but we're just actually talking about that person now.
Okay.
The Mexican Latino
Peruvian.
Jeffrey Dahmer, he stayed getting roasted. I mean, it was to the point that I mean
Where?
well, when he was on Fighter's channel, they roasted him.
Oh, I didn't see that. Because I've been following because ever since I was disrespected on that channel, I didn't know. I thought we were friends.
I mean, it's like to the point that people have roasted him. I mean, they roasted him on, let's see, what other channel? I think it was Marquis' channel, if I'm not mistaken. And
He came on
I don't know if he did, but I know that certain people have made troll or fake accounts. I guess in Marquis and this other dude, and they try to make a troll account of me, but yet they don't. They're very stupid because a lot of these trolls, they still don't know my actual name, even though I did say it in this was the first time and last time I ever said my name.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like this, like to see if I was really Dominican or not. Which to me, I'm just gonna be honest. That joint was very stupid when Nat Measy was right there. Now, regarding Nat Measy, I don't know what. Let's put him like this. Nat Measy could say that he's this or whatever, right? But let's put one thing to which is real.
Mm-hmm.
If he is so pro-black and everything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why the heck he's living in Europe, number one, right? And why? And if he were to even have children, they'll be considered, according to Tariq Nasheed, feathers because they were born in Europe. Now you get what I'm trying to say now? So to me, all this and everything like that, and you say you're from the United States and you living in Europe. Okay, I understand that the euro is a high currency. But you're not. But the dude is not doing nothing for African Americans in the United States.
He definitely not.
What you doing in Europe?
In Africa. He go to Africa and Europe, and he don't like the fact that the Africans call him out being mixed.
Mm.
He got mad with MC Cham, the dark skinned African from the cool brother from that's my brother from Europe. He's from Africa, and his family from Africa, born in Europe, saying that we are mixed black people. He don't like that. It's the truth. He don't like African Fawn Tribe. He called her, African Fawn Tribe, the one from the Spanish-speaking country, Equatorial Guinea. He called her the monkey. I know she talk bad about African people, but she don't talk bad about me because I keep real to be mixed. You know what I'm saying? So I don't go out to go with master one drop rule, mess and say I'm pure black. I said that dude's That's why I went off on him on Radical Channel last year. Like, I'm tired. Like, I ain't not know, but I saw how people was cheating you and saying you not Dominican and all the other stuff. And then Namizi saying, "Oh, come back home." There was nobody in Mississippi when I told him about Jose Chavez on the game. No, I know you don't bring up. I didn't watch the shows, but the movie, I mean, the show, the game that used on BET and also on UBN. Okay, with Jose Chavez is from Alabama. His dad Dominican. He about close to our age. Okay, he's played Malik on it in the Pooch Hall was the other guy that was married to Tia Tamira, okay, on the show. He part Dominican, okay, and you know Dominicans I met from Louisiana. Like this man, don't get me wrong, it's not a huge population in Mississippi, and actually it is growing down there in Alabama because when I went to Selma, I met 2 Guatemalans. The Catholic church I went to during the celebration of Jubilee for the Selma, they were like, Zach Roy, I was at Mass, they had a celebration at Mass downtown. We had a Mexican priest. It was a mixed African and white church, Catholic church in downtown in Selma. You know, so it's weird that people don't know that, but just because somebody is not from a certain region is mostly Latino, that mean they're not Latino. You know what I'm saying? Christine Aguilera is part Hispanic. She's mixed. She grew up in a mostly white area, and I know she was getting picked on for being Hispanic. Her last name Aguilera. Her dad's from Ecuador. You know what I'm saying? Her and her sister was getting picked on. Her half brothers from the white men that her mom remarried. Okay, so I know she was getting picked on. Even when she sang Genie in the Bottle, she was getting picked on. And even though it was a big hit, people at her prom were making fun of her. You know what I'm saying? So, like, of course, she's in Pennsylvania, but a small town Pennsylvania is mostly white. And I know in those little small towns, they're very racist down there. Okay. So my point is that the lack of education, just because somebody grew up in mostly Latino area, does not mean they're not Latino. That's the most uneducated statement. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you grew up in Mississippi. There is no Latino. You know what I'm saying? Of course, it's not a huge population of Latinos in Mississippi. Just like, no offense to bring up your friend Denise Gonzalez, she gonna say there was no Hispanics in Louisiana when the first Spaniards came to the Europeans were Spaniards. They came to Louisiana and caused the culture and let the French to come over there. Like the people from Colony Islands. Governor Galvez, a Spaniard governor in Louisiana, he was the Colony Island, island people from Spain. Well, they're same ones that made San Antonio. It wasn't Mexicans that made San Antonio. It was the Spaniards from Colony Islands. You know, the Canary Islands, we call it, yeah. And so people are so uneducated. It gets on my nerve. And there are Latinos from Latin America, from Louisiana. Roxy, once in part, she's from New Orleans. She's Honduran.
Yeah, she was actually born in Honduras, and later on, I guess she was educated and everything like that. But the thing is, though, if you actually look at Roxy, Raquel Diaz, right? That's her name. If you actually look at the way that she was talking on 106 in Park and how she originally talks, I'm like, hold up. How the heck you went up and got a New York accent so fast when the fact is you was actually raised in Louisiana? Now, from my knowledge, and I'm saying because I used to go to Louisiana when I was young, the last time I checked, people from Louisiana didn't talk like they were from New York. I'm just saying.
They told her that. They told her the BET wanted that New York Rican thing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they to talk with New York. I didn't catch that. I always thought she had a little accent, and I thought one time she was Puerto Rican until they said she was Honduran and she was New Orleans. And like I said, I met some Puerto Ricans from New Orleans when I was in the Job Corps. Not past we had remember to Washington D.C. 2004 in July. Me and two Latino dudes went there. Remember I told you it was 3 people from each Job Corps. And I met a Puerto Rican chick. I thought she was a yellow bone Creole, but she was Puerto Rican. And I was on her MySpace in New Orleans. Yeah, it's a lot. And even my cousin who born '88, his ex girlfriend, she's part white, part Mexican. Her husband and my cousin are friends now. No, he not dating her. They broke up a long time ago. So during the whole Katrina, he was working in New Orleans. He's Mexican. Now, I'm not. When I saw him, I thought he was a big, tall, like big, chunky, tall. I ain't gonna stereotype. But when I saw a little sharp, light skinned Mexican dude, I said, "You work in construction?" I wasn't saying like you work in construction. You know what I'm saying? Like you work in the office somewhere, like that dude. So anyway, he worked in New Orleans, helping fix Katrina when that happened. And there are Mexicans that live in New Orleans, and actually people realize Creole people and Latinos did intermarry. I'm talking about Latinos from Latin America, and
Right.
also before Texas was part of the Union, it was still Mexico. New Orleans was the gateway to Latin America. Some of the slaves from Venezuela went to New Orleans. Like I know a Creole brother that's part of
Yeah.
Venezuela down in family. Like people are very uneducated. They don't teach it in school. So I'm glad that when I found out my fourth grandfather was a black Spanish Creole, born in the Republic of Texas and parents from Louisiana, lesson Real is educating people about that.
Right.
So yeah, because people only know about Latin America, they forget that Louisiana was also a Hispanic area too, and also part of Nueva España, part of Mexico at one period of time. It was controlled by Spain.
Right. Another thing that I have to say, which is, you know, which I'm saying that it's just it ceased to amaze me. I went up and I've kept everything with my story, and then you got these gaslighters that want to try
Mhm.
to tell me who I am and who I'm not. Right now,
Yeah, I can feel it.
ima- im- im- now imagine I said my stories, and then this idiot Nack Measy is telling me, "Oh, there's holes in your story." No, it's not. I'm telling you this story how I tell it, and he's, "Oh, I'm doing this." I'm like, no, I don't care how other people doing it. I'm me. Second of all,
Mm-hmm.
he there's a lot of inconsistencies with this guy's story. Yeah, like for example, and I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna go and try to say anything, but there's a lot of inconsistencies with his stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
First of first of all, for a guy who is African American or whatsoever,
Mm-hmm.
and you say that you've moved all over the place. Now, now I'm just saying, we're just gonna give the guy the benefit of the doubt. So if a guy of his magnitude, and I'll just give it to him, I'll give him one respect, which is he does know how to speak Spanish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that said, how is it that you was a kid in Puerto Rico, but yet you're not revealing what you was actually doing in Puerto Rico? Number one. Number two, you claim that you're fully ADOS, right? But yet you're not claiming what you were doing in all these other Spanish places. Number three, you could
Uh-oh.
claim that you're from Brooklyn, you're from the Bronx or whatever. So we were talking. He's like, "Yeah, I'm from that hood." How the heck you don't even know? If you were from this time period, let's just say this, because I know that my sister is older than this guy. If you're
Mm-hmm.
from the time period and everything like that, your style and intelligence does not reflect it. Because if you really look at it, it just tells me a lot that this guy must have been a cornball. And number two, and number two, you could tell you could say, "Oh yeah, I'm from New York," or whatever. Okay, so what you doing? What you doing in Europe? So there's a lot of inconsistencies with that story. Like I can understand if you went to Europe for a better opportunity and whatsoever, you might have went there, you might have fell in love with it or anything like that. So if you're living in Europe and you're not, and you haven't been in the land of the United States for a couple of years, what the heck do you really actually know? You could talk to your family or anything like that, but what do you actually know if you haven't set foot here for a couple of years? That's my thing.
I'm gonna be
That's like
Williams.
that's like if a person's from, even though a person is connected to a certain country and stuff, right? Let's just say let's just say let's just say a person who's German descended or whatever, right? And you might be there or whatever. What knowledge can you go around and tell the people in Germany of the German culture or whatever? When the fact is you haven't set foot in there when you like maybe 2 or 3 years old. Or this guy is so out of touch with what's going on. He actually thinks that ADOS culture is BET when it's actually the EBT channel now. Like, come on. Yep. I called it.
Not Bob Johnson BT. You talking about? He talking
The
about
new EBT.
what's it called?
And we have
Jose.
Don Jose. Greetings.
Hola, señor. ¿Cómo estás? But yeah, talking about Viacom prior press complex contributor BET. What?
Yes.
And you know, I mean, Shane stuff. You know the reason why he sold it though. Remember, because of an affair. Remember, because he divorced and he was having an affair. And he was supposed to get his mistress BET. Remember?
Right.
Yeah, it all coming out. Yeah, okay, now that makes sense. But because she's not showing you a Me Too moment, but she the one broke the relationship up. Anyway, no, the BET is not the OB. I missed the OBET.
The OBET, like if you love it or not, right, was a beacon for black education, believe it or not.
It was. We talked about mixed ancestry, talked about sexism, hip hop, religion, economics. I missed that. I missed the OBET. And
now when I was with my ex, right?
I remember
when it was like around 2007 to 2008, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to me and her always used to argue. I was like, I do not want to watch this crap. I want to watch my Spike TV. I do not want to watch College Hill or any other crap that is detrimental to African Americans.
And we didn't know
that. Good
evening,
Don Jose.
Good evening, everybody.
Buenas noches, señor Negrón. ¿Cómo está usted?
Bien, gracias. So, what's the topic for tonight?
It's just like I said, it's an open topic because earlier I had my former coworker. He was on the stream. Salutes to Jonathan for checking in. So and then Zacharias came. So therefore, right now we're talking about the old BET and how it used to be the beacon of knowledge until it actually turned into the EBT channel. And what I mean by the EBT channel is that, okay, reality show, I guess it was a European or I guess a Japanese concept, but I could say more or less European, right? So if you actually look at these reality shows which are geared for black decadence, it's not black excellence. I'm saying it's black decadence. Let's see the people that have now they're given, I guess, the youth a wrong thing. Just like, oh yeah, I don't have to be talented no more. All I just have to do is be in a reality show, act ratchet, and then I could get paid a lot of money. And then now look at the current relationship of Blueface and the chick with no teeth. So if you actually look at the relationship between Blueface and the chick with no teeth, right? We're gonna go and actually now is Viacom, VH1 is all the same company now, right? So if you actually look at the filth that they're actually pushing out, and people actually calling that the filth that they're pushing out as relationship goals. Okay, let's just go and set it right here. What kind of relationship goals is your boyfriend and your boyfriend or your girlfriend and you'll both knock out each other's parents? Like
What?
yeah, that's what
Yeah,
actually happened. I
yeah,
mean, if
that's stupid.
Okay.
let's put it like this. All right, yeah.
What
So
can I catch a question, Don? Where they showing it on BET?
I don't think they show it on BET anymore because there's a lot of news streams right there. But the thing is though, it's like as far as the reality show from how should I say, from when it first started, right? You
Mm-hmm.
had the
Real world.
married, well, Real World was one of them. Then you
Mm-hmm.
had the yeah, you had Real World, which was one of them, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
you had
Road rules.
and then which I guess was kind of like a reality TV show was whatchamacallit, Jackass, right?
I didn't watch that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was too ratchet. Suburban ratchet. It didn't make no sense.
But you know something? I tend to watch programs from the 60s and the 70s because first of all, the quality of the material was better written, and it was more family oriented. Now I understand where a lot of people, the 60s and the 70s, that they might as well be 10,000 years ago, but that was a different time. And okay, and you know, you still have some wholesome entertainment at that time. Nowadays, it's like, I'm sorry, it's just plain crap.
I mean, it is,
It
and
is.
I mean, if you actually look at the pure crap that's been thrown around, let's be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
They don't have no ideas. There's no we call it no creativity, and it's an agenda they're trying to push. That's the trying to push an agenda. Like when I saw the BET, the college here, I didn't see anything stereotypical because I saw the same thing on Road Rules. Road Rules was most integrated, but most had white people, a few African people, and a few Hispanics. And y'all forget that Tommy Roman was one of them. Tommy from basketball, she's part of Puerto Rican. Tammy. You know Tammy Puerto Rican, right? Don Armando, right?
right,
Yeah, Tammy. Yeah, she mostly live out her African American side, but she's part Puerto Rican. Anyway, but she was one. She was we call it um real not road rules. What's it called what's dang? I just said it. What's the MTV not road rules real world. She was on real world when it first started when she had this short hair. Okay, I don't forget. I didn't recognize it was her on basketball because it's been years, you know what I'm saying? But I remember who she is. Um, so they had it been since then, and I remember watching Real World and Robles as a teenager. And then when I'm in my 20s, I did watch College Hill, especially got that big fight. The bright skin chick was mixed with fighting the other sister from the Virgin Island, UK, wherever she was from. Yeah, I really had to tear them apart. That's on time. Yeah, but I watched the Ratchetness for fun. I didn't see anything racial because like we watched Jerry Springer. We also watched my grandparents watched Lot of America. You know Lot of America, the proving everybody fight on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what they saying? My grandparents will watch a lot of America because you know Jerry Springer it's essentially like Jerry Springer, but a lot of America kept it real. Okay, so anytime you saw ratchetness and fighting, it was no different than watching soap operas. My grandma, you know, when was it Dynasty was Alexis and we said blonde chick fought. I remember Diane Carroll fought Alexis, but it was a blonde white woman that fought. You know, so that's why we watch for the drama and stuff. But we are TV. I don't like it that they will try to make it racial because ratchetness isn't all racist. You see what I'm saying? I hate the fact that they turn it into a racial. Because at first, you didn't see too many African people or Latino of those of color on reality TV. You mostly saw white people, even on Road Rules in what's the other one in Real World. You saw a few. They had a few people of color. You know, they had David, the camera skin brother, the one that was trying to violate Tammy. Okay. They had that Mexican one who became a cop, and they had Tom Morell, who's part Latino, part African American, and a few Asian. Then, you know what I'm saying? They had, you know, but they mostly had white people. And I'm sorry, I ain't trying to be racial. You saw them acting ratchet on the reality shows, you know, doing all type of things and stuff, you know, like Puck would do, okay, you know, the white dude Puck, okay. So my thing is when they start to, you know, Mona Scott, I watched Love and Hip Hop to remind you of a soap opera. It was okay. You saw mostly people of color, African and Hispanic, former rappers and singers that we grew up listening to, you know what I'm saying, back in the 90s and the early 2000s. So that's why we gravitate. But I hate the fact that we're turning to a racial situation to a point it looked like we are animals when it's all colors. And I watched Italian ones, what's her name? What's the Italian? Oh,
It's
God.
Snooki.
And yeah, she born Chile and she Italian at the same time. What's that?
Yeah.
Jersey Shore. I
Snooki.
watched that too. Yeah, I watched that too.
Yep.
Her and
one thing I gotta say about that guy who calls himself The Situation, right? That guy got beat up. Yeah, that guy got beat up the most on that show. Like that guy didn't have hands. Like he called himself The Situation. He got himself into a situation and got punched.
The situation was for his inappropriate things.
Man, please.
It wasn't for fighting. It was getting them swerves.
Got you. I mean, if you really look at it,
me jealous because I'm trying to swerve.
And then on top of it, right? You want to know what's funny? When there was Real Housewives of Atlanta, you remember it was the first one, I guess. I forgot what her name was. She was part Chinese or something like that.
Yeah.
And, yeah. And then there was Nene and that chick who went up, and then that chick who was saying "Party for the Party." I'm like, yo, that song was the worst. Then,
I can't stand Kim. That's Kim, the white girl. I can't stand her. Me and her same age. I can't stand her.
Man, Kim, whatever her name is, that was the wackest song ever. Now, apart from what is said, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I actually think with the reality show and everything, it's gotten to the point that it's so oversaturated that it's like, yeah, I'm doing a reality show, and then the next thing you know, you got the next entailed rapper. So, well, several. One thing I gotta say though, is that with all the people who are untalented or anything like that, I want people in the panel to actually listen to one of my homies from the Dominican Republic, you know, the San Pedro de Macorís
Mm-hmm.
region. Um his name is G Sosa.
Okay.
So he has a joint called Gang Ish. And you know, I want everybody in the who will check out my channel just to check it out. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, even though he spits in Spanish, he actually incorporate English into his lyrics and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, like, if you're in Texas or anything like that, just bang his music out because I'm trying to make San Pedro wins. So therefore, you know, just check his music out on YouTube. So you know, I'm just gonna actually write it on the back channel.
Okay. We got Latinos of different Latinos here in my neighborhood.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
therefore,
you already know we got Venezuelans, and we got Hondurans, we got Puerto Ricans, we got Mexicans, we got a lot of Cubans here. Yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm. So definitely gonna bring out everybody know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I like independent artists because when I was on MySpace, that's what I listened to.
Yeah.
Okay.
All most of the music that I actually listen to is independent. I don't know who's actually mainstream no more because they're not to my liking or they don't really have lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And Don Jose, what
Yes.
what kind of music do you still listen to?
It's basically okay. Different types of Christian music. Sometimes I listen to like jazz. Sometimes I listen to popular music if the lyrics are not all that
Vulgar?
disgusting. Yes, because okay. Now I know for some people my taste this is like a little bit old fashioned, like 5,000 years ago. But you know, actually, when
Right.
you sit when you compare the music of today and say the music say 30 or 40 years ago, I'm sorry. The old songs are way much better. I mean, particularly the music from the 60s. I mean, people, the performers actually have talent. They actually sang, they actually wrote their lyrics. Nowadays, you got people that basically scream and say every F word, and half the time you cannot understand what they're saying. It's like gibberish. I'm sorry. I mean, that's how I see it. I mean, and I know I'm like 10,000 years old, but hey, I mean,
Nah.
I like
No, you're not 10,000
No,
old.
no, 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 you're not.
You're not.
It's just if you really look at it, right? The talking points that you actually have said, I'm gonna say something. You know, God rest her soul. My mother never liked rap. You know what I'm trying to say? She
Same,
didn't
same
like
on my
the
dad's side. My dad and my
yeah.
mom. My mom who's no longer here, they didn't like rap either. They like some of it, and my grandmother, grandfather did not like rap either. I started this rap in '89. Remember, I was on Fire's Complex channel. I said I meant that. No, I was on Black and Mason's channel. But I started this in rap in '89 when Turn the Mother Out by MC Hammer came out. And I was against rap. They used to tease me, make fun of me as a kid back in the late '80s. Being like a rap. I like the R&B and pop. There's some
oh
rock.
yeah. I mean, I was mostly into rap and R&B because you know my brother. That's what he
Mm-hmm.
listened to. So after a while, you know, I expanded my taste to you know what my parents' music, and I even took it a step further. Like just for me to be, you know, to have certain talking points with my mother, I just went I just went up and I just had listened to the older music that my mom and my pops listened to when they were teenagers, just so me and my mother could have conversations. So I took it a step further. So one day, right, my mother always used to tell me about a famous singer that used to be her substitute teacher. So before my mother passed away, I went up and I played the music from that teacher. I was like, hold up, mom. You don't know who this is? And she started listening. She was like, how did you get this? I was like, it's on YouTube. So I went up and I played the music. I was like, this is the guy that you used to listen to, right? And me and her, we had a talking point about that. So through my mother, a lot of people
Mhm.
were on that panel and they wanted to, tell me what I'm not and stuff. They could not even tell. They could not tell me who was all the old artists that were in the Dominican Republic at the
Right.
time of my parents. So therefore, they're just right there. I could just I got a lot of knowledge, and they would hate me for that, but I don't care.
Right.
It's me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is
So,
what I'm gonna say.
can I
This sure,
can I change the subject? Okay.
yeah,
Now I
sure.
don't know. Now I don't know if. Excuse me. I don't know. I don't know if lately there's been a lot of stuff on TikTok regarding transgender women.
Oh yeah, I was gonna
What?
talk. Yeah. Now, with that said,
Uh,
it's just that I've been seeing that.
yes,
Lord have mercy.
yes, and in fact, there is this one individual, uh, you know, talking about, well, this individual is going to use the ladies' room no matter what, and that this person is calling transgenders to carry guns to protect themselves so they can go to the ladies' room. And it's like, first of all, I'm sorry, but there is male and female. Now, if you decide on your own accord to alter your body to change your gender, that's perfectly fine. That does not give you the right to try to shove your beliefs down people's throats and then disregard others just so therefore you don't feel uncomfortable. In fact, I'm going to be discussing that topic at some point in the near future because look, I am all for everyone be be who they are, who they want to be. Okay, if you want to be transgender, fine. If you want to be a type of person whose gender is undefined, go ahead. But kindly refrain by pushing your dogma down our throats. And I'm sorry, no 5-year old or 6-year old or whatever need to be exposed to that kind of crap.
I agree.
I mean, I agree too because if you really look at it, I was just talking to a friend of mine that he was actually on a chat. He wasn't on the panel, but he went up and showed love on my own chat. Shout out to my homie Al Black, aka Negro 200. So with that said, it's just that if you really look at it, right, you got certain people who are identifying as a child, or they want to identify as a rock or a hippopotamus or something like that. So why, if people are identifying on who they are, right? Why can't I identify as a black Dominican male?
Thank
You
you.
see, you see now. You see what I'm
That
saying
that gets me
now.
too.
Now, with that said, right,
Mm-hmm.
and the Hispano farts, and now we're not calling them taps no more. We're just calling them farts because they're just because they stink, and then after that they go out in the wind.
Uh, actually, I have my own name for those type of people. They're they're part of the peanut gallery. They're part of the circus. And last year, I referred to them as the mentally and intellectually challenged, or the mix, as I like to call
Jose got that good one.
Yeah, Exactly. Well, I'm gonna have I think I might have another stream on Thursday or Friday, maybe about that same topic.
Mhm.
So, but I'm about to
Okay.
close up because got to do my husband duties
Yeah.
and sleep. So
Uh, Don Armando, before you hang up, before we end this, you did say you want to do something. I'll be in the Philadelphia area this weekend.
all right, because it's like this. I went up and I tried to I'm trying to see how I could get to your hotel because it's a little bit farther because you
Yeah.
said it was, yeah, because originally I'm like, okay, I'm thinking it was Center City, but then it's farther outside of I guess the Philadelphia area. So I'm
Yeah. It
thinking
is.
on just how to get out there. So you and I, we have to talk behind the scenes tomorrow about that because
Mhm.
Yeah.
I will love to do a stream. I may be on your channel or mine's. So we'll
I
just
mean,
set it up.
I mean, I think that's perfectly fine. Look, as always, Don Armando, I appreciate you allowing me on your platform and be able to share my 2 cents. Of course, I came late because I was doing my own stream.
That's
And
understandable.
yeah, so of course, sometimes we do have a conflict in schedule. So be it. Just before I go, for those who are watching in the playback, if you have not done so, please subscribe to Don Armando's channel and check out his content. And of course, Keisha, who's my union sister, has her own YouTube channel called Wine and FaceTime. And shout out to her because now she has more subs than I do. So, she's doing, I'm really happy with the success that she has done. So, and of
All right.
course,
One thing I gotta say, I gotta shout out to my boy Acosta. I know I'm about to close out and everything like that, Acosta, but we're we gotta chat soon because this guy has to go to work. I'm talking about myself, of course, but big shout out to Mr. Acosta because he's been supporting and everything like that. So big shout outs to him. That's all I gotta say.
Mhm.
okay, well, mhm.
So Zacharias, you got any lasting words? Because
No, I had to agree with Jose on that about the transgender thing. I think they should have their own restroom. What's up? What's up? What's up? Acosta. That's my brother too. But yeah, I have to agree with that too. What else I was gonna say before we yeah, wait, what's I was gonna say? God dang it. Oh, and they gonna carry guns. Women carry guns too. Cis women that carry guns too. So
I,
I
I,
don't know.
I read something which is funny, right?
What-
But you got we all got to agree with this. This is funny.
Mhm.
There was a guy who identified as, I guess, trans that went into the girls' bathroom, right?
Right.
So he went to identify as a lady. The guy, the father saw this, and he identified as the tooth fairy, and he knocked the guy out for just barging in the woman's bathroom. So if you want to go do that, don't be mad when fathers actually identify as a tooth fairy just to knock your teeth out.
Or be a Caitlyn Jenner because they got transgender fathers too.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? And a transgender woman, like Caitlyn Jenner, can come and knock that dude out too. And they
yeah.
try to, you know what I'm saying? Yep. So, but like I say, I think you gotta go. Like, I think they should have their own restroom. Like they should have a transgender restroom.
I
The whole
agree.
Target situation. I remember 2016 out, and I put it on my Instagram and I put it on YouTube. And I had YouTube. they had a protest. Remember about Target trying to? And it was like there was no hardly no line. I can go shop anyway. So, but yeah, they should have. I said they should have their own restroom. They should have a transgender restroom, so it would not be a problem, or a private restroom, so nobody would like an individual restroom, so nobody would not be a problem.
All right.
Mm.
Well, you know, I have to say this. Good night, sayonara, au revoir, fast vidania, whatever language it is. I might have to learn some Vietnamese or something like that. But you know, good night, everybody, and thanks for thanks for being on my panel, both of you guys.
Good night. Take care. Peace.
Good night. Peace.